So this was my first attempt using the GoPro for a kayak tournament, and didn't have much battery life, only had 2 or 3 hours of battery, and so I was trying to use the GoPro sparingly. And of course, whenever I wasn't using it, that's inevitably whenever the fish catches I wanted to get on film took place, and I missed a bunch of them. Caught a lot of fish this day, did not get a lot of those catches on film, unfortunately. So the fishing was definitely better than the GoPro quality. So hopefully I'll get better there. I've got some things to learn with the filming, but this was my first attempt, and we'll see what happens with the video. All right, it's Natural State Kayak Anglers event number 7, Las Fajitas Road Runner event. I'm here at one of my favorite places to fish, the Kings River. And I thought for the first time, I'm actually going to try to do a GoPro video. So hopefully this goes well. Hopefully I don't zero. It's going to be a tough day. If I had to say, my confidence level is probably about a 2 on a 1 to 10, but I think everybody else is kind of in the same spot. So 4:50 right now. We can launch at 5 o'clock, and it's going to take me every bit of 30 minutes to get upriver to where I want to fish this morning. So looking forward to it. It's a little creepy out here. I'm completely on my own out in the woods, not a light anywhere. It's gorgeous out here, but it would be light if I said it wasn't a little creepy at 4:50 in the morning. So wish me luck. Hope it's a good day. All right, about to make it to my spot finally. It was going to take about 30 minutes to get here, but it's actually 5:37 right now, so a little bit behind schedule, but that's all right. I don't like making casts into the dark anyway, so I will get to my spot here in a minute and I will start fishing. Goal today for me, 85 inches is what I'd like to be able to get. That's going to be a stretch here on this part of the river this time of the year, but that's my goal. I think it's probably going to take more than that to win it. I do feel like there's enough big fish in this stretch of river that if I can get them to bite, I think they're here. I think they're going to be relatively easy to locate if they'll bite. Just don't know if there's enough of them. So that would be my goal, is catch a couple 18 inchers. Pre-fished this section last Saturday. I lost 2 good fish. One would have been, I would have guessed, probably 18 to 19 inches. Another one was 16, and I caught 2 16s. So I feel like if I can repeat that today, get one more, probably going to be in pretty good shape. So that's my goal for the day. I'll have to float back through this area a little while, so the plan would be to cover a lot of area right off the bat with the top water. And I'll come back through and I'll finesse fish some of these overhangs and things like that. So that would be the plan or the goal or whatever. Last week when I was here, I didn't catch any out of this stretch that were decent. It was all on the next stretch. A few small ones that I did catch were all kind of in the middle. And when I came back through, I was able to catch a couple with a Texas rig, so that's kind of what I'm hoping to be able to replicate. Hopefully I'll get a big bite here this morning though. This river changes every time, every spring when we get floods and whatnot, and this year there's a spot on this hole that it just completely silted in. That was probably one of the better holes on the whole river, really, for me. Obviously disappointing. Tell Hudson that the time that happens, it just creates another spot for the fish to go. It takes away the spot we're used to, but there's probably another spot that's opened up, so I just got to find some of those spots. But I have not been able to locate the fish in this stretch so far the couple times I've been here this year. No, they're probably here somewhere. If I don't catch them on top water though, I'm gonna have a hard time this morning.
my ticket here. Not very big, but take him. Okay. Switch to that double jointed Rapala and got a bite. Second cast, that's a good sign. Oh, so much awkward doing all this out of this boat. Cannot see the hook at all.
So in the first hour and a half or so, I was able to secure a real small limit. Fish were hitting the whopper plopper pretty okay. Tried whopper plopper, buzz bait, a jointed Rapala, spinner bait, several different techniques. Just wasn't getting any big bites. Was able to get, you know, several smaller fish to bite, but not the ones I was looking for really. So about 7:30, I decided to try a floating worm. Came up on this kind of overhang lay down area, which I knew could hold some big fish. I needed to get a bait into the middle of that cover. Threw that floating worm out. On the very first cast, I hooked a really large, really nice largemouth. It's probably 19, 20 inches. Drug me across the river, drug me back, eventually jumped out of the water and spit the hook. So I was pretty frustrated. Glad that wasn't on camera because I said some not very nice things. A couple casts later, I was able to snag another pretty decent fish. So had found the pattern for the day that was gonna work. Not the pattern I was at all expecting. I don't fish a floating worm hardly ever, but for whatever reason this day they really wanted that bait.
It'd be the best bite I get all day. That's the reason I came here, was that fish right there. I'll let him off. This might be a spot. We're gonna go after this trick worm. Hopefully that one big fish that doesn't cost me. I think I found the pattern now. It's a nice fish. B16, come on. Ouch. Came up, I thought that was a spotted bass. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a largemouth. All I know is that there's 2 really good bites on that worm in about 5 minutes. Okay, organized here. Hopefully it's gonna go 16. I don't think it's that big. Oh, so much harder to do this out of this kayak. It's a nice fish. Not quite 16.
So after I caught this fish, I continued to catch fish on the floating worm for probably the next hour or so. Probably caught, I don't know, 15 to 20. That would have been 12 to 14 inches. It was a lot of fun, to be honest. I just kept, felt like every cast I was maybe going to catch a fish. That's fun, even though they weren't very big. I definitely had found a pattern that was working. Unfortunately, the battery on the GoPro had died. I chose not to replace it just because I didn't want to take a couple of minutes to do that when the fish were actually biting. So I don't have any video of that, but they were biting pretty good, and it was a pretty fun hour or so. So my plan going into the day was to fish up the Kings, a couple holes that I really like, and then fish back down to where my truck was and whatnot. And I did catch a really nice 17-inch fish on the way back down, again on the floating worm. Didn't get it on video, of course. But after I caught that fish, I was basically ready to paddle back down to where my truck was, and then I moved to a spot on War Eagle that I like as well. So I have a little bit of footage of that too.
Stay down. Yes. I think that one will help. Oh yeah. They are liking that worm. Oh, that's a long, skinny fish.
So all in all, I definitely had a fun day on the river. I finished 10th out of 52, which I thought was pretty good. Felt going in like I had probably 80 to 85 that I felt like I could have caught out of these two places. If I wouldn't have lost that big fish, that's about where I would have been, probably somewhere between 82 and 83 inches. If I would have got that fish in, if I would have landed it, fished clean, probably would have finished maybe somewhere between 5th and 7th, somewhere around in there. It cost me a few places, but you know, all in all, for the spot that I chose, I felt like I maximized pretty much what I felt like I do from this spot. Finishing 10th out of that group of guys is definitely a good accomplishment to fish the rivers versus some of the smaller lakes that were being fished. So definitely a fun day on the river, had a really good time. Definitely need to work on my GoPro abilities, so that's my next objective between now and the next tournament. So appreciate you watching, and hopefully by the time you see the next video, I'll be a little bit better equipped with the GoPro. Thank you very much.